Let's answer some of your questions about the Pullman Downtown project, starting with, why not wait and spend the ARPA money in 2025? There seems to be a lot of misunderstanding about the funding timeline for this project. The Pullman Downtown work is likely to cost around $10 million, and between $7 and $9 million of it will come from money given to the city by the federal government during the pandemic. The city of Pullman has decided that it's in the best interest to spend the money this year before it seemingly expires at the end of 2024. Now, others have pointed out that the ARPA rules clearly state that the money only has to be obligated in 2024 and could be spent as late as 2025 or even 2026. All right, I just have to give a quick disclaimer here. This is where we're really going to start to split hairs, and I need everyone to just give me a lot of leeway, because at the end of the day, I'm just a guy with some engineering background talking about local politics for free. I'm not a lawyer or a city official or an accountant, and I probably won't say everything perfectly. But if we're all okay with that, let's dive in. So to my understanding, this whole issue of when to spend ARPA money comes down to 3 Ps. What's possible, what's practical, and what's someone's preference. So, what's possible? Yes, technically you could sign a contract with a major construction company on New Year's Eve in December. That contract could include a scope of work that has the whole construction being done in the summer of 2025 and 2026. Yes, that is possible. But is it practical? The federal government started the American Rescue Plan in 2021 with $1.9 trillion of stimulus funding. Now, from that, $65.1 billion was allocated to state and local governments for COVID-19, as well as, quote, necessary investments in water, sewer, or broadband infrastructure, end quote. This money was intended for shovel-ready projects, things that could benefit citizens quickly. It was not intended for cities to sit on the money, or worse, spend it on operational shortfalls or payroll. Basically, use the money to make improvements in your city's infrastructure or give the money back. So, with the intent of getting the stimulus working as soon as possible, they set a deadline at the end of 2024. Now, of course, stuff happens. Projects run long, change orders pile up, so the federal government is giving the recipients a 2-year cushion to get the projects all wrapped up so long as they start before the end of this year. That's the spirit of the rules. And yeah, while you could technically exploit a loophole and stretch the time frame out longer, that's not how the money was supposed to be used. Also, a quick side note, I don't know of a single construction contractor who would be interested in a deal where they sign the contract this year and do the work in the following 2 years. There are just too many variables that are out of your control. Things like the cost of materials and the cost of labor. And even if you did find a prime contractor willing to go with you on that trip, they would definitely raise the price to make it worth their while. It's just not practical to push the timeline to the absolute limit. And remember, this is use it or lose it funding. If the federal agency that hands out this money decides that we didn't properly steward it, they will demand it back as soon as 11 months from now. Do we really want to take that chance? Finally, let's admit that some of this comes down to individual preference. The administrators and engineers who are signing on the dotted line and putting their careers on the line for this project, they all believe that wisdom says to spend the money in 2024. We can argue back and forth about the timing of ARPA rules and challenging people on the meaning of federal guidelines, but ultimately, none of us are in the driver's seat when it comes to interpreting these rules. The safest option is to stick with the dates as given and do the project this year. Because all of these things are out of our direct control. But do you know what is under our control? Where we choose to spend our money. If you don't shop local, start today. If you already shop local, make a plan to continue this summer. Be willing to walk further, park further, and support downtown, even when it's not convenient. Let's do the hard things now so that we can have a thriving downtown tomorrow. Thanks for watching.